But the best thing about lemon myrtle is that if you're going to be talking to someone about an idea that you want to kind of meet halfway, but you want them to say yes, make them a lemon myrtle New York baked cheesecake. Ooh. Amazing. Ooh.
Today we have Brenden Moore, who is an Aboriginal educator and First Nations Community Greening Officer for Botanical Gardens, Sydney. Welcome, Brenden.
Hey, Buzz. Thank you. Good to be on here.
Yep. Okay, so what mob is your family from?
So I'm a Biripi man and a Simon from Taree.
Oh, yeah.
And our clan group is a shark. Our clan group totem is a shark.
Oh, yeah. That's all good. How long have you played the didgeridoo for?
I've been playing the didgeridoo since I was 8 years old.
Oh.
But I didn't actually have a didgeridoo when I was at that age. I found the interest of playing didgeridoo, and it came from a television show, showing my age here, back in the early 80s. It was called The Bush Tucker Man. And he introduced the didgeridoo, and growing up in a remote town, we had a lot of Aboriginal people in this town, but I had never seen didgeridoo until it was on telly, and I thought, wow, this is Aboriginal culture. That's something that I belong to, and I was immediately drawn to that instrument, and I was like, I want to get one. I asked my parents if I could get one. They're expensive, and also you need to know the right people, and we didn't have that, so I improvised, and I would go around and I'd use things like mum's vacuum cleaner. I would use that, and also PVC pipe. That's a really good, and that's what got me onto playing. And now, you know, I play at community events, I play in schools, and I play at special events as well, which is quite honourable to be able to be seen in that light, to play an instrument that's been around for thousands of years.
Yeah, I can relate to the PVC pipe method. That's how I first started to learn Didge, and then with me, I just went downhill from there. Couldn't drone at all.
Well, let's do some lessons.
Yeah, we'll be good. And now, Spencer, got some questions?
What work do you do in the Botanic Gardens?
Yes, so in the Botanic Gardens in Sydney, I work for an outreach program, and it's called Community Greening. It's a community greening program. It's been active for over 22 years. Mm-hmm. And the community greening program is designed to support social and community housing to create edible gardens. We're funded by Homes New South Wales, and my job as an Aboriginal community greening officer is to help support and work alongside housing services to create edible gardens with tenants. We also work alongside Aboriginal community and social housing. We also work in schools. We've got a youth community greening program that work in schools. It's a fantastic program, you know, and just engage people back to country by using their hands and releasing endorphins and, socialising in a positive way, growing food. So we can have healthy eating, but growing food together, so we can eat that food together. There's so much to it within our program. There's so much positive outcomes that we have with all the communities and schools that we work with across the state of New South Wales.
That's amazing.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. What influenced you to get a bachelor degree of community and social development and a diploma of Aboriginal studies?
Yes, that was a good one. At that stage, I approached my manager, Phil Pettit, of the Community Greening Program, and shown some interest in wanting to do studies and to getting my bachelor's degree. And I met this fella. I met this fella on a weekend, not Phil, but this different fella. His name is Jared Hodges, and at the time, he was working for University of Western Sydney at Bathurst. And I was on a weekend where I was playing didgeridoo at a special event where I met him. And then he had asked me to go play didgeridoo for him at an event that he was having at Western Sydney University for the students that were there. And I said, well, what students? I wanted to learn more about Jared and what he does. He says, well, I help Aboriginal people support them in getting degrees. And I was like, what? This is the first time I'd heard it. this program. And I said, I want to learn more about this program. You know, I want to be able to see if there's any degrees that I can do. And he said, well, meet me in 2 weeks' time, you know, and we'll talk about it. So he brought these 2 folders. One of them was a bachelor's degree in social development, community and social development, which is what I chose. The other one was a early childhood educator, was to go and become a childhood teacher. And both of them were very, I guess, in my mind I was like, what do I go with? I would like to do both of them at the same time, but I can't. But I just thought, now that I'm working in community greening and I work in communities, I feel like as if that's a pathway I needed to take. So I chose the pathway of going and doing my Bachelor of Community and Social Development. And doing that degree had helped me kind of learn more about how to work with communities more, different communities, and having a bit of a broader spectrum of ideas of how I can support communities by creating community leaders to then become, you know, mentors and community leaders within that community. So, yeah, that's where that came about, and that's my passion, and that's what I love doing.
Yeah, that seems like an awesome passion to have, and it's amazing what you're doing in the greening officer job, and I reckon everyone should have an edible garden.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
so good.
What's your favourite native plant?
I've got heaps of native plants that I love. I've got about 3 small native habitat gardens at my place, and all of them I love. And I'm glad that I'm not at my house because they might get offended if I put one out. But I would have to say my most of all favourite native plant would have to be the lemon myrtle tree. And the reasons why I love that plant is that not only it has a beautiful flower, but it's in ice creams, candles, lotions, conditioners. It's in ice creams, it's in cookies, it's in cakes. Now, the best thing I love making with my boys at home, I've got 2 boys at home, they're 6 and 8, Darcy and Archie, and I love cooking with them. And what I love cooking with them is lemon myrtle biscuits.
Ooh.
So I like to call them lemon myrtle bush biscuits. And the reason why that is, we'll make the biscuit, we'll grind up the lemon myrtle, put them in Ninja Bullet, mix it into the cookie dough, and then they'll be like a light green colour. And then the boys get to shape out their biscuit shape. So they can make any shape they want. Being boys, you can only imagine what type of shapes that they would be making these biscuits. But I won't mention it here, but it's you can picture it. But it's about engaging these boys within plants and utilising, you know, in-house cooking skills to be able to not only, you know, add something different and a native ingredient into cooking, but also to create something that they can eat. But the best thing about lemon myrtle is that if you're going to be talking to someone about an idea that you want to kind of meet halfway, but you want them to say yes, make them a lemon myrtle New York baked cheesecake.
Ooh.
Amazing. Ooh, this thing, anyone would say yes to you if you make them that.
Might need the recipe.
Oh yes, I got that one from actually Peter Dorr, our youth community greening officer that works in schools. He's an amazing cook, that fella.
Yeah, that seems amazing, and the way that you cook with your kids, and it will show them the cultural aspect of the bush tucker, keeping culture alive, and how we can adapt that to the modern society.
Yeah, and it's like you're right there, and it's just about practicing that culture, isn't it?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how you're doing it, as long as you're practicing that culture, and we're utilising these plants. We've got them at home. They can see it, they can smell it, and we can use it. So they're the sensory plants. I love native sensory plants.
Yeah, and how long have you worked at Botanic Gardens?
Ooh, so we're going for about 15 years now at Botanic Gardens, and I've worked at both the Blue Mountains Botanic Gardens in Mount Tomah, and that's where I started off as an apprentice in 2008, and I was an apprentice for 4 years, and during that time, in that 4 years, I had the opportunity to go and work in the in the Royal Botanic Gardens in Sydney, and working under Clarence Slockey, who was the Aboriginal Programs Coordinator for the Royal Botanic Gardens, and I would help support in setting up cultural lessons and also Aboriginal heritage tours within the Botanic Gardens. So as an apprentice, every apprentice is able to go and travel the world to another Botanic Gardens out of their own interest into wanting to learn more about a specific species of plant and do a bit more research on a plant or a garden or anything that's garden related. But my interest fell within Aboriginal education. My interest fell in working with Clarence. My interest fell into wanting to engage and learn more about the connection between Aboriginal people and plants.
We would like to thank you so much for yarning with us on Beanbag's Yarns for today. And thank you for all the insider knowledge of all native plants and some of the ingredients which might need to try out for myself, and all the information you have given us today will be everyone will like the information. Anyone who sees this episode will muchly enjoy the insight you have given us today. Thank you.
Nice one. Thanks for the yarn up. Thank you.
Thank you.